The sky of South Korea's entertainment industry suddenly darkens when a major issue explodes in the public space, targeting one of the public's most clean and beloved figures, Cha Eunwoo. The name, which has been synonymous with perfect image, modesty and global achievement, is suddenly dragged into a whirlpool of heavy accusations that mention a fantastic figure Rp 229 billion, and even involve the figure he protects the most from the spotlight, the mother. In a matter of hours, the issue went wild, moving from anonymous forums to social media, then spreading to clickbait titles that provoked public emotion. But just as the flames of speculation began to grow, Fantagio moved quickly, decisively and uncompromisingly. That morning, the timeline was filled with sentence pieces that collided with each other. Some claimed to have internal documents, others claimed sources close to the family, and others dared to write a long narrative about alleged tax evasion through a family company. Cha Eunwoo's name was written in large, as if at the center of all the allegations, although none of the posts included any legal evidence or official confirmation. Even more surprising, the issue targeted not only the artist, but also her mother, a figure who has hardly been mentioned in public space. The reaction of fans was divided. Some were hit and angry, others held back while waiting for clarification. But there is one thing in common: disbelief. For many years, Cha Eunwoo was known as an almost flawless figure. His track record is clean, his demeanor is humble, and his personal life is very strictly guarded. So when the figure of 229 billion Indonesian rupiah was mentioned, many questioned, how could such a big accusation arise without a single clear legal process? In the midst of the commotion, Fantagio finally spoke up. Not in a doubtful defensive tone, but rather a cold, firm and legally stressful official statement. The agency stated that the issues circulating about Cha Eunwoo and his mother are untrue, baseless, and entirely defamatory. The sentence is not just a rebuttal. It signals that the speculation game has crossed the line. Fantagio insists that there has never been any tax evasion, there has never been any official investigation process, and there has never been any violation of the law committed by either Cha Eunwoo or his family members. The 229 billion Indonesian rupiah figure is referred to as narrative engineering, which is deliberately exaggerated to attract attention and create a sensation. Furthermore, Fantagio stated that the family company mentioned in the issue did not carry out illegal activities and had fulfilled legal obligations according to applicable regulations. But what most silenced the public was the next step. Fantagio does not ask for understanding, not asking for time. They immediately stated that they had collected evidence, traced the source of the initial spread, and prepared strong legal measures against anyone involved, whether the issuer, the respreader, or the anonymous account that knowingly spread false information. The phrase "without exception" becomes a cold but electrifying ending. In the Korean entertainment industry, such a statement is not a bluff. Many previous cases have shown that the agency actually took matters to court. And the public knows when Fantagio talks about a legal move, it means the process is already going behind the scenes. Meanwhile, Cha Eunwoo chose silence. No emotional uploads. No personal clarification. No sudden interviews. This attitude actually gave rise to two opposite reactions. On the one hand, supporters see it as a form of complete trust in the legal process and its agency. On the other hand, thrill seekers try to interpret the silence with various assumptions. But it is precisely there that the most striking difference between fact and speculation is clearly visible. An internal entertainment industry source mentioned that Cha Eunwoo was devastated not because his name was dragged, but because his mother was also targeted. For Cha Eunwoo, family is a line that he never lets the public touch. For many years of her career, she refused to expose her family life, even in variety programs. So when the figure of his mother is mentioned in the wild issue, many understand why Fantagio reacted so violently. Legal experts interviewed by Korean media said the spread of allegations of tax evasion without strong evidence could fall into the category of serious defamation, especially if targeting public figures and their families. If it is proven that there was malicious intent or economic gain from the spread of the issue, the punishment that awaits the offender is not light. It's no longer about gossip, it's about criminal and civil law. As Fantagio's statement spread, one by one the anonymous uploads began to disappear. Previously vocal accounts suddenly deleted tweets, locked profiles, or pretended never to be involved. But digital traces are not easily erased, and Fantagio says it has archived all the evidence since the issue first emerged. For many observers, this became a turning point. From a wild uproar to a silent but deadly legal process. On the other hand, support for Cha Eunwoo actually strengthened. Hashtags of support have sprung up, not in the form of blind defense, but rather a call to stop the spread of slander and respect due process. Many international fans highlighted how quickly the issue of fakes can evolve, and how dangerous the impact can be for the individuals targeted. Interestingly, to date, no tax agency or official authority has confirmed an investigation into Cha Eunwoo or his family. The absence of this fact only strengthens Fantagio's position. In the legal world, an accusation without official process is a fragile building that easily collapses when tested. But this story is not over. Fantagio insists that they not only want to stop this issue, but also set a firm example that the line between freedom of opinion and slander should not be crossed. This legal move is referred to as a form of protection, not just for Cha Eunwoo, but for the entire artists under their auspices. Behind all this, one question continues to hang in the minds of the public. Why did an issue of this magnitude just arise? Who benefits? And what is the motive behind the spread of the narrative that drags the family of a known artist clean? For now, one thing is clear. Cha Eunwoo is not being judged by the law, but by public opinion. And Fantagio is determined to pull the case back to where it belongs, the law, not gossip. As the dust begins to settle, the public is faced with a choice. Continue to spread speculation, or wait for the truth to be legitimately proven. Fantagio has chosen his path. And as the law begins to move, those who once felt safe behind anonymity may soon realize that words have consequences. This story is not about accusations alone, but about how a reputation built over years can be shaken in a matter of hours, and how one decisive step can be a sign that not all issues are worth believing. Amidst the noise, Cha Eunwoo's silence and Fantagio's assertiveness spoke the loudest. When many people thought the storm had passed, it is precisely where this story enters a quieter, but much more stressful phase. After Fantagio's official statement was released, the public space did seem calmer, but behind the scenes, the legal machine began to move. Industry sources say Fantagio's legal team is not just focused on clarification, but on systematic mapping. Who first raised the issue, how the narrative was shaped, and the path it took to mass consumption. What makes this situation even more sensitive is the way the issues are strung together. The allegations do not appear as ordinary gossip, but rather are structured as if they were investigative reports, complete with large numbers and convincing-sounding legal terms. For the lay public, such a structure is easy to mistake for fact. This is the reason why Fantagio considers this case dangerous, not just defamatory but potentially misleading public opinion at large. Some Korean media observers consider Cha Eunwoo's case to be the clearest example of how half-baked information can turn into a weapon. There are no official documents, no statements of authority, but a constantly repeated narrative is capable of creating the illusion of truth. It is in this context that Fantagio's decision to resort to legal action is considered not an overreaction, but an indispensable preventive measure. Meanwhile, Cha Eunwoo continues to carry out his activities as scheduled. He was seen attending the pre-scheduled agenda, greeting the staff with the same attitude as usual. There was no sign of panic in front of the camera. But those who know him personally say that his mental stress is enormous. Not because his career was threatened, but because his family name, especially his mother, was forcibly pulled into the space he had been so desperately protecting. For Cha Eunwoo, mother is not just a member of the family. It is the emotional foundation that he often refers to as the reason he can survive in a harsh industry. That is why many fans feel this issue has crossed the ethical line. Dragging the artist's parents into baseless accusations was considered a cruel and irresponsible act.